wish him well, man. I hope there's certain things that he oversees that seem to be supported in a bipartisan way, like getting terrible toxic stuff out of our kids' food. I think that's a great thing. And so, if you do that, that's amazing.
He doesn't want to be so mired in hatred that he blindly has to be angry about RFK Jr. doing something like removing a known toxin from children's cereal. Someone who probably understands where you're coming from, Chris Pratt was on Bill Maher's show. Not the HBO one that people watch, but the one that is entirely guest dependent. And,
jeez,
it's true. I will say this. You can criticize Chris Pratt there because we all know that he's a Christian, and I would tend to guess that he leans more conservative, moderate, though he hasn't been super clear about that, but he's very clear about his faith. You could criticize him for being a fence sitter if you watch the clips, I think in full context, maybe not. You could criticize him for being little milquetoast, maybe, but that's not why the left criticizes him on his appearance on Bill Maher. They watched what you're about to watch, and people on the left believe that Chris Pratt is literally Hitler. Let's see.
And in politics, you inherit enemies, and when you jump on the bandwagon with who is the most divisive president ever, it makes sense that you're going to be made to look terrible. And so I don't know what to believe, because it's not like I sit with Bobby and I go, so hey, let's talk about this. It's like we're just playing cards or playing Mafia or having fun or having dinner. I'm not going to pick his brain to find out exactly which of those things are true. I just kind of assume that none of them are. And for the most part, I wish him well, man. I hope there's certain things that he overseas that seem to be supported in a bipartisan way, like getting terrible toxic stuff out of our kids' food. I think that's a great thing. And so if you do that, that's amazing. I'd hate to be so mired in hatred for the president that any success from his administration is something I'd have an allergic reaction to be like, oh, well, if they do it, I don't want it to happen. I'll put Clorox in my children's cereal myself. It's like, come on, be reasonable here. There's certain things that would be a good thing to have. I want them all to be successful.
So you may say hey, you could take that a little bit further, Mr. Pratt. No, I'm not saying that because that's not his job. He's an actor.
Yeah.
But the left is saying that was far enough. Did you hear what he said? That brings us to Reddit retards. And just in case you say I'm taking it out of context, go watch the entire interview. It's very similar to that in tone. I would like it if Bill Maher let his guest speak a little more, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, he was high, so he didn't know.
So on Reddit, the responses to what you just saw. Best Animator 182. The hatred is extremely reasonable, and Chris Pratt, I like how they changed the name there, is an idiot. There is nothing admirable about policies rooted in eugenics.
Mentally retarded.
Well, also no animations there. Kind of a fake name.
Yeah, yeah. Also, I think you might want to do a little bit of a background check on eugenics, and particularly the history in the 19th and 20th century. Not going to like how it turns up, Buttercup. Kendall _with_1_L. Chris Pratt wants to kill all autistic people.
Maybe she's retarded.
No, actually, that was Margaret Sanger. Look into Planned Parenthood.
Wow. She got to change her name to 2 L's.
Yeah, he wants to take out red dye from food. Or actually, let me really represent Chris Pratt's position as accurately as I can. He doesn't want to be so mired in hatred that he blindly has to be angry about RFK Jr. doing something like removing a known toxin from children's cereal. Contrast that with Margaret Sanger. Planned Parenthood specifically wanted to eliminate any and all babies with birth defects. And, by the way, also most black babies. Feisty _B9175. What an idiot. Not surprising, though. He is hyper-religious and spouts Christian, that's corrected from the person who calls him an idiot, Bible verses publicly all the time. I put him up there with the other nut job has-been actors like Dean Cain, Kevin Sorbo, and Jenny McCarthy.
Well, how did McCarthy go?
Retarded, sir.
I've spent quite a bit of time with Dean Cain, and Kevin Sorbo has been on this show. I know for certain that Dean Cain knows how to spell with.
I mean, we can try.
They were literally shaking.
Yes.
Typing that.
Comics is it AI or Al? Some of us are old enough to remember the MAGA GOP hissy fits when Michelle Obama promoted healthier eating habits as First Lady. Wonder what this Pratt had to say about that.
I hate being retarded.
Here's the thing. No one has a problem with somebody telling you to be healthier. The Michelle Obama campaign, right, the healthier school lunches were a complete failure, again, because it was predicated on the idea that government could fix everything. The lunches were expensive, they were gross, kids refused to eat them, so they just ended up trading them for other goodies and treats. It increased waste. Kids were still hungry because they wouldn't eat the lunches. And by the way, it's at the same time as Barack Obama eliminated the presidential fitness test. So if you're going to say, hey, everyone, let's move more, let's be healthier, great. Don't combine that with all body types are just as beautiful and healthy. And don't eliminate the presidential fitness test. It was about making people feel good no matter what they did, as opposed to being based on results. Also, the issue there is that she wasn't president, and we're tired of the First Lady's stupid pet projects.
She's got to stay busy.
Yeah. The Healthy School Lunch Program, just to be clear, it was about as successful and gross as Mexico's school lunch program.
Muy delicioso.
This has been Reddit Retards. Gerald, plug the merch store before we get to the blacks.
Go to CrowderShop.com right now to get this shirt, not the one that I was wearing a minute ago. There's only two genders, or pro-gun, or pro-cow poop. I don't think we have a pro-cow poop.
No,
shirt.
I'm very anti.
Probably find one.
As a general rule.
I don't know. We'll see.
Pro-dung.
Yeah.
CrowderShop.com. Find something cool.
Good word, by the way.
There's cool stuff.
We had one employee here who literally smelled like cow poop.
Really?
Yeah, it was
what?
short-lived. Oh, we don't, you remember. So, I don't want to get into too much detail.
Yeah.
It was, I will tell you this. Look, for as much as people love to bitch about the boss, we had to have meetings on how to approach a person who smelled so bad that other employees were complaining without hurting their feelings or sort of stepping on a legal liability landmine. Do you have any idea how difficult that is? When you have employees threatening to quit because they have to sit in proximity to someone who smells so bad that it affects their work.
I know it's already over, but can I suggest an idea?
Yes.
How about you start a prank war?
Uh-huh.
Tell them it's a prank war, and then they're the only one that gets pranked. And it's like they walk through a door and, soap falls on them.
Yes, soap. That's the guys, yeah.
They hit a tripwire as they walk by their desk, and then Febreze just goes
Right.
like that.
Yes, exactly. They behind a door and it's just a tool chest. Like, what was that? It was the sound of 5,000 bars of ivory coming down the stairs.
I pranked you. I covered your seat in dryer sheets.
Yeah. It was uncomfortable. Oh, you're still here watching this on YouTube? There's no more. It's over. Just like YouTube. YouTube is over. It's not a thing anymore. How many Seth Meyers clips do you need? Head on over to Rumble. Follow me there. Live on weekdays at 11 a.m. Eastern, where we can actually speak freely and don't have to self-censor. YouTube it's really not a thing. Like, you ever seen one of those towns that maybe was like a mining town, or maybe they made some kind of alloy? You say, hey, I wonder what they did in this town. It takes a while to find a person who can tell you what they did in that town, and even then you don't fully understand it. That's YouTube. YouTube is that town. So go to Rumble.